Hey guys, this is Chelsea from the Financial Diet. We're filming this on Tuesday the 10th. It's going up on Thursday the 12th, so hello from the past. We're a week almost we're technically a week from Election Day, although a mere 3 days from when we found out who the president-elect is. And I wanted to just come in and talk to you guys about that as kind of a follow-up to my Election Day video. We don't have any script today. It's just vibes, so this might not be the most cogent video of my entire life, but I wanted to kind of talk to you guys heart to heart a little bit, because I think something that really has struck me over the past month especially, and we experienced it heavily in the 4 days between Election Day and when we found out who won officially, particularly on election night itself. We felt it all in the lead up to the election, and we're now feeling it after the election has been called. Just this general sense of being held hostage to everything Trump does, says, doesn't do, what his cronies and appeasers do, don't do, etc. Very much always kind of acting in response to things and being on the defense of things. A lot of us, quite frankly, panicked on election night. Even though anyone who had been following, the predictions correctly or thoroughly would have known and had been made aware that it was very likely that the outcome would seem one way on Election Day because of those day of results and would pretty quickly change once we started treating the mail-in ballots. But there was a panic. There's been a lot of panic the past few days because of some of Trump's commentary and the people around him refusing to, sort of fully and completely embrace the stated results of the election. And I get it. But on some level, I do feel not proud of myself. I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but I do feel glad with the little platform that I have that on election night, I was not panicking. And in the days between election night and when we got the results, I kind of stayed focused on things are likely to come out well. We have to be patient. Even in, group chats and personal conversations, that was sort of the tone I tried to strike. Now we're in a position where, listen, Biden's going to be the president, and there's going to be a lot of bluster. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be very corrosive to the national discourse to have 70% of Republicans stating that they don't think this election was free and fair. That's corrosive. That's bad. That's not helping the situation. But also, those are things that it's very, very difficult to act upon. And more importantly, panicking about those things, just like we panicked between Election Day and the results, just like we panicked before Election Day, does nothing to help, and in many ways helps the people who benefit from that chaos and uncertainty. We have 2 runoff elections in Georgia that will decide the fate of the Senate. And those are 2 areas in which you actually can do something. You can phone bank, you can text bank, you can canvass, you can donate. There are almost limitless ways and groups and people to partner up with whom you can start working toward a beneficial outcome. And let's not kid ourselves that the majority of the reason any of the Republicans who clearly know that Trump lost and is leaving on January 20th are even paying lip service to going along with this, it's because they don't want to upset his base. They don't even care about him. They're not afraid of him personally. They're afraid of the 70 million people who voted for him, who they need in subsequent elections, particularly in this runoff that is of ultimate importance to them. Think strategically. I understand that people panic. And I want to say something very clearly, because although it's not a criticism I've personally received much or to my eyes, it is a criticism that I would understand if someone leveled at me. I am a privileged person. I'm financially stable. I live in a situation where ultimately who is the president, although it does affect my husband and I on an immigration level, which is very tangible, even if we had to change the plans of literally where we lived in the world, we would be okay. So I do understand that the stakes for me are lower than they are for some other people, and that can cause me perhaps to be a little less panicked. But even in the case of someone who has everything to lose, panicking, fearing the worst, worrying, being drowned in anxiety is the least productive thing you can do, and one of the only things that's truly guaranteed to not move the needle and to also harm you in the process. I definitely could do a lot more than I currently do to help some of these outcomes. And I plan to definitely step up in my participation with these Georgia runoffs from even what I did in the general or the primaries. But even doing a little bit of something is not only just extremely beneficial for the outcome, it's also helpful to you, because every moment you are actually doing something productive, you have one less minute to panic and one less minute to feel impotent and beholden to the will of another person. In this case, that man who is going to be leaving on January 20th. I'm so sick of even saying his name. We use the phrase a lot, lives rent-free in our heads. Sometimes it's maybe overused, but I don't think we could ever even get close to the extent to which Donald Trump has been living rent-free in everyone's heads for the past 5 years. And we have evicted him. Now, we may have not evicted every element that he has unleashed or created or dynamic that he has put in place, but at minimum, the insanity that he's constantly spewing, the stuff he's saying on Twitter, the bluster, you don't have to pay attention to that anymore. And if what you want is a world where we all have a little bit more of a shared reality and are working toward policy goals that are positive rather than fighting based on cults of personality, you would be best served to turn the volume down on that guy. It's time to turn the page and to do something productive. I will not pretend to you like I do not have moments of anxiety or fear or panic about some of these things. I do. But one of the least productive things you could possibly do is broadcast that to the people around you, to broadcast it on your social media feeds, to fall into that doom scrolling pit, to catastrophize publicly. So my challenge to you with this video, if nothing else changes, we have wasted enough time playing defense against this bullshit. We have wasted enough time panicking about what might be or what was said last or what is being threatened. My challenge is, at least between now and Inauguration Day, including those runoffs, which I highly, highly encourage you to do something about, do not give in to panic. Anytime you are on the precipice of panicking or focusing on your anxiety around something you cannot control, take that time away from yourself. Volunteer. Donate $1. See if you can get someone else to donate $1. Make use of that time. Stop giving in to the panic. It may not change the outcome, but I guarantee you it will put us all in a better place mentally to run the long race, which is what we all need to be doing. I'm personally, although not 100% thrilled with the outcomes of Election Day, pretty happy, but at minimum happy that we can at least move on from hanging on every single word that one person is saying. That is a net positive for our country and for the world. So let's embrace it. Let's turn the volume down on that asshole and get to work. That's my message to you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Make yourself a hot chocolate. Cuddle under a Snuggie. Bask in the knowledge that that man is on his way out January 20th. See you guys around.